Recording in progress.
Move to approve today's agenda.
Seconded to approve today's agenda for the revision. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye. I had made one change and Carrie said she would make it, but she was unable to have it reflected
Okay.
today. So,
Table.
yeah. That's what I took it.
Minutes of 10/7/21 be tabled until our next meeting on November 3rd. Item 3 is opportunity for public comment. We got a few here. Who would like to start? Mary.
Giving somebody else a chance. I'm here because I got my ballot and I don't understand why is a ballot? Why the question was a ballot? The county court doesn't need my permission to look into anything, especially something that hasn't even transpired yet.
So on that, move the border question. The committee that's put that together throughout the rest of the state and in other counties has came forward to us. They didn't have enough signatures put on our last ballot. And so they opted to gather the signatures and present it to the county clerk to be a ballot measure like you see today. As a county court, we could have passed that through and put it on and put it into place. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to hear a vote of the people. So because of that, that's what you have, one thing it's on the ballot at a pretty high cost to the county.
But that's what my concern was. And also it doesn't address yes or no, whether to move it or not.
No,
It's a whole waste of.
All it's about
money
is,
as far as I'm
all it's about
concerned.
is us meet, we have to meet 3 times a year to discuss this. As it says, the question on the ballot, shall the county court meet 3 times annually to discuss promoting Harney County's interests regarding relocation of the state border? That's the same thing that's been in all the other counties. Some have passed it, some haven't.
And on this matter, the gentleman that started it a few years ago, he was in email correspondence with the county court. And, I contacted him. I said, hey, we are so easy for you to get on the agenda multiple times. I can't think of any time anyone was denied the ability to get on our agenda, either the very next meeting or 2 meetings out. And that wasn't good enough, I guess. So this is fine, but what I don't like about it, frankly, is, it says they're to meet on Harney County Court on the 4th Wednesday of March, July, November. So in November, that's going to be the day before Thanksgiving some years, which is not a great day for a public meeting on something that hopefully is important to somebody. And I'm not against having it on the agenda for discussion and learning and whatever, but anyway, people have been stopping me to say, what is this about? And oh, I just tossed it, and I'd say, well, if you're totally indifferent, of course, I guess you could toss it. But if you either way want this or don't want this, vote. Otherwise, if you just don't want it, you don't vote, it'll probably get passed. It won't affect us too much. We will do it if it's passed. It's just that I didn't like the specificity on the dates. That was my.
Thank you.
Can I ask a
But
question
well,
I'm just gonna ask a follow-up question on the same thing.
but how much was it? How much did it cost?
Recall Dag told me an election like this is anywhere from around $12,000, $12,000 to $15,000.
$12,000 and requires county court meetings regarding relocation of Oregon-Idaho border. Well, that's just ridiculous.
It's
And
not,
I thought that the initial ballot, which has been in the paper and everywhere else, was going to be as to whether this should be or not. And like I say, since when does the county court need my permission to look into anything?
Agreed.
I agree with you.
We were,
So my follow-up question would be, we got our mailers, that said it will be on the ballot, and in the way it's written in the press, that it passed, every other county passed. So let me make sure I understand. In this county, were they saying we had to meet 3 times? And then the other counties, it was a straight up and down vote, are the people in favor of?
The same thing got put on the ballot everywhere. It's a
Okay.
little bit of
That's very-
misleading.
It is
very
misleading.
confusing. Their flyers have nothing to
Information.
do with what the actual
Yeah,
question
okay,
is.
okay.
Yeah,
good
they-
to know.
And they
Yeah.
are not accurate with their messaging of what's going on the ballot versus if on a
Right,
statewide
gotcha.
ballot,
Mhm.
you could put the actual
Mhm.
thing that's on the postcard. This is not, this is about having commissions or courts
Yeah,
meet
okay,
annually.
okay. Good to know. Thank you for that. clarification.
Very confusing.
Very confusing.
I'd also
Um,
like to add that, too bad, they didn't get their signatures, tough beans. So why come whining to you?
No, they
It's a
They
legal
did.
process.
That's why it's on the
did get the
ballot.
signatures to put it on.
Oh,
the
they
ballot.
did, I
It-
thought you said they didn't.
I
get
did,
that.
a year ago when all the others happened, they
Oh.
didn't get enough here, so this is the next election that they could do it on.
So
So
they
basically,
did
you
follow the
decide
legal
whether you-
process, though.
Right, I
You know.
understand that, but I'm just not,
If this passes, it will be on our agenda 3 times in those months for discussion.
And
Yeah.
if you lived in the city of Burns, though, there were 2 things that were on the ballot that if you lived in the county, you did not see.
so
So
it out on the airport.
exactly. So maybe Mr. Brown could speak to what the county had put on the ballot also, or the city, sorry.
Yeah, Commissioner, one of them was exactly what Heinz put on as well. It was about the deer population and whether or not to allow the game and fish or the wildlife department to help the cities eradicate the deer or, to really just to quell the population. And to see if people want that, apparently I wasn't here back then, but I know that the city of Burns at least passed an ordinance about the deer and it seemed to kind of quell the issue. But when Heinz was putting the deer on the ballot about, how to control the population of the deer, some people don't mind the deer and others do, so take it to a vote. And the other one was the very passionate issue of the 4 to 3 lane configuration. And most of the people that came to the city council meeting if you recall, there was an initial vote by the city of Burns to reconfigure the lanes from the current 4-lane configuration to a 3-lane to incorporate a 2-way left turn lane, pretty much down Monroe through the city, but it's a state highway. It was more, there's no cost to the city or to the county. It was all ODOT project. It was really a lane restriping. But there were a lot of people that came out against that. They thought that it would hurt businesses and the safety aspects, they didn't feel it was there necessarily there, and that ODOT should come up with a different decision. And so the overwhelming majority of the citizens that were there had requested that it go to a vote. And so the city council reversed their decision that night. It was more or less just to move forward and decided to put it to the vote of the people. And of course, the city council instructed me to put it on the ballot, and it has to be put on the county ballot. So that's what that is. And that's not, again, it's an opinion vote. So it doesn't mean that if it passes either one of them, that it's going to take place. It's just gauging, again, the opinion of the will of the voters.
So one more, and I'll leave it alone. I gotta get back to work, you'll be happy to know that. Requires county court meetings regarding relocation of Oregon-Idaho border. I thought if that went through, the county court would be out of it. Because it would no longer be in Oregon, it'd be in Idaho.
No, it just requires the county court to hold meetings 3 times.
And
That's just stupid.
And what we'll
And-
discuss, we don't know, I guess what's brought to us by that committee that wants to move the
That's
border.
hard.
It's surely not, I just can't imagine how the years it would take to accomplish this because of all the funding that comes from the feds and the states to the counties, it is going to be a nightmare. But This passes, we will discuss what they put in front of us. That's really what it's about. It's-
So that means you'll discuss it after it should have passed.
No,
Oh,
It's just the next step.
It's just the next step.
I didn't know there was a next. Well, that's interesting. I'm glad I
It's just
came
the
up.
very, very, very beginnings of talking about it is what this will do.
How much information would you get?
Well, I'm thinking that whoever wanted it on the ballot can pay the 12 grand. So,
The statute read that way, we wish so too, but no, it's out
Thank
of,
you.
it's out of your county general fund.
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks, Mary.
Thank you.
Good to see you. It's been a while. Okay, next, other comment.
I'm here on behalf of Quincy Road and Highway 78. What I'd like to see them stripe that before somebody gets service to her and get killed. I brought that to your attention, where I was told from John Eden, which is the regional manager here, that I have to have you initiate that.
Hello.
By some sort of form of letter or whatever it might be. You got Candy Rook spot, the only place JMK on Quincy Road.
Yes.
I live on that. Crystal Crane's on the other end of it. So we got commercial traffic coming out of the Cinder Pit. Eight people, I almost witnessed a really severe accident where somebody was Looks like he was great. He killed his motor, that's how quick it was. But if he'd have hit that guy passing at 70, 80 miles an hour, you know, they've been a serious deal. This recently, I've lived there 10 years and I've been put in the borrow pit. I even moved one of my approaches, you know, and it's cost me quite a bit to move to the top of the hill on the other end, 3/4 of a mile away. So that you can see both ways before you pull out that way. But what I need to do is have you write a letter for John Eden and send it over to him saying that you would like that to happen. Crystal Crane would like to see a left-hand turn lane there. I don't think you're gonna get the state to initiate that. But just to stripe it, or maybe even put up a sign, no passing zone through Crystal Crane and Quincy Road, it might save somebody's life or seriously injured. And so that's why I'm here today, is to add that to your roster here to see if we can initiate this. He told me I had to either have you or Mark Owens, you know, sign on that deal.
So I'll tell you what I've done already.
If you guys don't want anything to do with Quincy Road, that's obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, that's been the county, but we're talking about the state highway.
This is the state highway, right? So anytime we put in a request to the state to do speed limit changes or this will be the first time I've put in a request like this. They have to do a study, and their darn studies take what, some time. It's probably been 6 months ago, I asked them from complaints I got this to lower the speed at Buchanan, Crane, like before the circle on past the store, and Riley.
That would be
And-
next on my list, is to lower the speed back to 55.
Yeah, well, in going through these communities, I won. I don't say I won. They have granted that they will be changing, putting up signs. It's probably gonna be next year. The day you came in was the day I got the email that said that they had approved those reductions to 55. And so my reply was, thank you very much. Here's a new one. So I've already notified him through an email. I will do it more in official context now with your comments from our county court meeting. But we will ask for that to begin. It won't happen overnight. That's the
No, I know
frustrating
that.
thing, but we'll get the ball going.
I've been working on it.
I actually have started the ball going a little bit, but
As
now I'll
well,
push
there's a
it
bus
further.
stop there now, and I've watched people pass the
That's
bus.
another good point.
You know, yep, kids going to train.
Yeah.
And, you know, it just needs to lower the speed limit and strike that so that you could probably save somebody's life. It's not serious injury.
Sure. No, I agree.
You know, when they upped the speed limit there, they really created a whole lot more dust and stuff too, that I deal with. You know, you might as well forget dust and you get all these semis going by kicking up dust and dirt when they're not doing 50 or 60, you know, they're doing 70. And they kick up a lot of dust, you know, living the desert doesn't deal with the dust. But before somebody gets seriously hurt there, you know, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
All you do is reduce the chances of it by striking it when maybe putting from, well, ideally, the people I've talked to in my community, ideally from Quincy Road to Crane Store, to make that a no passing zone. You know, it's like Terrebonne, you know, they've got terrible out there on that highway, you know, they, you know, finally had to lower the speed limit, you know, you're in the school zone part of the way too. So,
No, I hear you, and I'd say,
you know,
Already been
you're
in
on it though, huh?
I'm on it, but I'll get on it harder now. If
You
you come in and help, so I can supply minutes from this meeting, and so it's not just me, it's the community's asking, and see if we can get some action.
Have you met John Evans?
But John, I'm of correspondences with the regional manager out of Ontario, Paul
Well, he's
Woodworth.
regional man that, tells everybody what to do.
You know where it goes from?
John is out of Ontario. He
Yeah.
usually deals with any kind of traffic, you know, whether it's a new approach, permit to get, you know, onto the state highway, or striping issues, sign issues. That's where he's kind of,
I'll make sure he's included in these correspondence too.
Know this man, but, you know, that's what John said, that you have a better chance of initiating, and I'm sure he's got bosses too, that
Right.
you have to sign on to the deal.
No, that's accurate.
As long as we're talking about Quincy Road, what does it take to get a new Quincy Road sign put up that's been missing for?
Somebody
10 years.
stole the sign, so nobody even knows it's Quincy Road.
I know that we have an issue with hay truck trailers wiping out the signpost or whatever, but I think it's been 10 years that Quincy has not been labeled as a road, so.
We have Eric's our roadmaster, and Bryce,
But yeah, we can, Quincy Road, where is it missing at?
Quincy Road.
Quincy Road,
Quincy in 78, but that's gonna be ODOT that does that, isn't it, Bryce?
Yeah, they do the ones on 78.
Yeah, they're gonna be the ones, any offshoot roads, they'll
They'll do the
end up
same.
doing, so.
Do you have a contact, Eric, or
What's that?
you have a contact for that, or you want me to look into it?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I will make that contact.
There you go. Okay,
Well, that's what I'm up to.
all right, now I appreciate you coming in.
Wednesdays I'll come in and meet you in person.
Right, be wrong.
Thank you.
Yes,
Well,
you bet.
I am. Before somebody gets really hurt there.
No, that's
So,
exactly right. Sometimes that's what it takes. We don't want that to happen.
thank you for your time.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
So I'm Dan Krieger from Crane Hospitals. And I do have to agree that some safety lines out there could make a big difference. I see we've been there 24 years. And in the last probably, especially 5 years, the semi truck traffic has really picked up. It's Google Maps. So it's tremendous, the amount of truck traffic that is going by us now compared to before. And I don't believe that there's a turn lane planned for our entry, but I do think that the double yellow lines could make a big difference. We see our customers either pulling out or pulling in, and the trucks, they want to go 65 plus. And if somebody's driving 62, 63, they're going to pass them because they're on a 10-hour shift and they're trying to make as many miles as they can. So really, that's what I've got to say.
Yeah, well, that's good points too. The new law on that, the hours they can drive is all that. I mean, there's a lot of things that add to it. Have changed, why it's changed so much out here.
There really is.
20 across, 78.
And I need to agree with Cheryl that the signage, not the people that don't know our area, is mainly what the problems are. And so they're passing, they don't realize that there's another road coming out to hit 78. And so they just pass and hopefully nobody pulls out in front of them.
No, good, more good points. Put in.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Sorry, Just having my turns out. So I see that you have something on here about the SASO that is in this public comment section. But I just wanted to represent again that there's a bunch of people here in the county that are supportive of the Harney County SASO. And so a couple things, people are starting to wonder, what's going on with the AG's lawsuit. And I don't know if it's appropriate or when it would be appropriate to have it on, actually have address that issue on the county court's agenda. And furthermore, whether at some point, sooner rather than later, probably, there needs to be a wider public meeting about what's going on with that. Because, yeah, people want to know, and I know it's right now, it's probably, it's new, it's fresh, it's delicate, but
We have our,
Yeah.
we have our second discussion with legal counsel today in an
Okay.
executive session.
Yeah.
And it's just building more on one we had 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
So really at this point,
right.
they're not, and I'll address what's on the agenda in
Yeah,
just a
okay.
second. One
Okay,
more through
perfect.
public
Yeah,
comments.
that's all I want to say.
Can I go next?
Yep.
So I can get back to work.
That's all right.
Yes.
I'm Cheryl Smith and I'm with the Crane Rangeland Fire Protection